everyone and welcome to another video. This one today I'm really excited about. Obviously 2023 we had a good year with Smokey, got third in the DSA series and that was all good. However, coming into 2025 after having a break to have little cute Harvey, I want to step it up. I want to do something a bit more. I know that the big boys at the top of L1, they're all stepping their game up and I don't want to be left behind. So we have an exciting announcement today for Smokey going into 2025. So let's go take a look. So as you can see, big old red crate. An expensive red crate. And it's got a nice expensive little insignia on it. So as you probably guessed from the title, we're going supercharger. Take a look at this. We've got a Harrop 2.3 litre supercharger to go on top of the LS in Smokey. Hopefully we're going to make 400, 450 kilowatts on this thing. Probably on light boost for this. Unfortunately at the moment we've got stock pistons and rods. That might change in the future. But I think that 400 to 450 kilowatts is really going to give us an edge over the 300 we've got at the moment. So let's unpack this thing, get it out on the bench.
You to grab it.
Yeah.
What can I pick it up from on this end?
Those should go. Alright, it's somehow out to here. It's bolted in, which actually shouldn't be that surprising. They probably make these things just float around in here.
I actually know when you're as heavy as I expected.
Alright. Fancy box, be gone! Very aggressive. Why are you so angry to my box? So, why a supercharger? Why not turbos? Well, the reason is, I like the supercharger. Not necessarily on all engines. Obviously your 6s and your 4 cylinders, turbos are the way. But for a V8, I've seen and heard lots of V8 turbos. This don't really do it for me, but anytime I see one of these fly down the straight at the bend with the little whine going on top, it gets me going. So that's why we went supercharger. The other reason is packaging. Packaging on these is way easier. Pretty much you bolt it to the top of the engine, you run a water pump, an extra radiator and a reservoir, a couple of other bits and pieces, bang, you're done. Turbos, you're pretty much guaranteed to have to move the radiator to the back of the car, then you've got all the custom piping and you've got a lot of heat in the engine base. So for me this is a much simpler, in my personal opinion, better way of doing it for what I want to do. So that's why we've got the Harrop here. The reason that I need a supercharger at all, pretty much I always, when we built this car, always wanted to fiddle around with the car and get more grip out of it, tinker with it, change settings. But as soon as we built the car, it pretty much had the right amount of power for the right amount of grip. If we put more grip into it, I could make the car get around the track, but it was not the easiest thing to drive, and anytime I chased someone a bit slower, well, all I'd have to do is slow up a bit and I'd be having a real bad day. So that's part of the reason we need the supercharger. The other is the level in L1 for SA it's pretty up there now. Like chasing Matt Harvey a couple of times in 23, I could tell he had a lot more grip and I had as much grip as I could with the power that I had. So that sort of opened my eyes. Even though we're on 235 tires, which are, you know, cheapies, there is so much grip out there that those guys are creating that you still need a pretty huge amount of horsepower to do it. So up the level and pretty much try and keep up with the Joneses when everyone else is running superchargers or 2Js that are making 800 horsepower. So with that in mind, I think it's time we actually fit this thing up. We've got a couple of things to measure up on the car, pull the old intake off, and then we should be good to slam her on in. So we got the intake off the car, we did a bit of cleaning to make sure that no dirt got into the engine. Now we're up to pretty much putting the supercharger on, but there's a couple of things that we need to do apparently before that. These gaskets need to actually be riveted to the underside here to make sure that they're on the right position when we put it in the car. And also, got another map sensor to fit. So the one that's on there is the standard LS1 map sensor. It's only really good for naturally aspirated applications. Obviously, we've got some boost going into it, so we've got a new map sensor to fit up to the back side of the supercharger intercooler arrangement, so that we can tell the ECU what boost we're running. Right.
First try.
First try. Totally didn't have to do that twice because I fucked up the camera. Right, bonnet check.
Yep.
How big is this hole gonna be?
Pretty big. It's going to be very big.
It's not gonna be small. It's not gonna be small. But it might be just that, which is kind of cool to be honest.
Just the snout, yeah.
Just the little itty bitty whiny boy hanging out. I'm excited. Look at that.
Job done.
Job done, let's go home. So we took the blower off because we came across a little bit of an issue. Nothing we can't solve, but this pressure sensor back here, oil pressure sensor, the height of that is pretty much touching or very close to touching the blower, and there's no room to get the plug on. So we do have a fix for that in mind. We've got this fitting down here from Aeroflow, and this is going to go into the original port, and then the sensor's now going to come out on 90-degree angle. And you can see pretty much right back here is where the sensor was hitting. So should be a pretty easy one, and then we can get the blower on for real. So I'm not really sure why, but we've run into a bit of a roadblock. This sensor doesn't go all the way into the Aeroflow block there. It actually hits on the banjo bolt on the inside. So not sure why that's the case. This is actually built specifically for this situation, but might have to get on the lathe and just get rid of a bit of the thread off this sensor so we can get it all back together. So with the supercharger all bolted on, that's the end of the episode. Trying to keep them pretty short. Let's be honest, that was probably the easiest part that we need to do on this whole conversion, but there was a lot of explaining to do at the same time. So I'm pretty excited now for 2025 seeing it on there, and I hope you are too. So yeah, thanks for watching. Like, subscribe, all that other YouTube stuff, and I'll see you on the next one.